What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Quran Assam. Got another official thanks thing going down here. Doing the Essex County All Day Edition. I'm very, very fortunate enough to have this gentleman coming on, Greg Duncan Hines, Montclair's own, Hampton's own. Heard his name throughout my travels as a youngin', what have you here. Just some of his exploits, a lot of things he was able to do here. Like I said, I'm just fortunate and blessed, to have him. And as I always say, the others that have been on in the past, and look forward to hopefully, meeting some other people that I've heard about or people I do know, what have you there. But I'm gonna just be quiet on this and get Mr. Hines on, and we're gonna go from there. There we go. We're in business.
All right.
We're in business.
All right.
Nice to meet you here. Obviously,
man, it's all an honor, man. It's all an honor. Talk about Essex County.
We're gonna go back and forth with that, but the honors truly mine here. So, like I said, I really appreciate you just taking time out of your day here, because I know ripping and running and you traveling up and down these highways. I know you're extremely busy.
And I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah. Nah. Good stuff here. So, again, as I mentioned to you, it's just been like, a blessing for me. I mean, honestly, whether it was people way before my time, during my time, or even after, just some of the stuff that I've been able to do around the whole Essex County stuff. It's like I said, just people I never imagined to ever meet. You just hear stories about them, such as yourself, and but to have an opportunity to hear a voice or what have you, I get like a little giddy. I get like a kid in a candy store, just because I never thought my path would cross with anybody, with a lot of people that I have spoken to. So, like I said, so thanks for taking the time out.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So this journey here is called life here. Where did you get started at?
Well, I was born in Newark, New Jersey, of course, at Beth Israel Hospital. I was raised up. Well, I was born in Newark, and we moved to Montclair. Okay. But my family roots is deep in Newark. I've been a member of the New Hope Baptist Church down on 106 Sextus Avenue from the beginning. My grandfather was the chairman of the deacon board there, and my grandmother was the mother of the church. Mm-hmm. And my aunt was the executive secretary. So I was raised up there down in the Baxter Terrace area in Newark. And my parents decided to want to raise family up in Montclair. And that's where I consider home now, Montclair, New Jersey.
Yeah. Nah, definitely a Mountie, and all the Mounties love this here, I'm sure. So going up to Montclair here, obviously, what part of Montclair were you at?
Right there in the 4th Ward section, right near Glenfield Park.
Okay.
Right on Willowdale Avenue where the Glen Ridge tennis courts is. I'm like right on that same side. I was like a block away from Glenfield Park. Spent a lot of time there, and on those basketball courts and out on the field and everything out there. Everything about Montclair was love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, even with Montclair, as far as just transitioning from North to Montclair, how old were you? About you remember?
I was just like in the 1st grade. I went to 1st grade at Montclair at Glenfield.
Okay.
And I went through the 1st grade all the way up to high school. Mm-hmm. I went to Mount Hebron. Now it's the Buzz Aldrin. And my good friend Major Jennings is the principal there now, and he's a basketball legend himself. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the guys that got me started playing basketball at Montclair, because it was rough. When you're not from Montclair and you transport there, I was raised up with some good friends and everything. But Mr. Jennings, he was a senior college player at American International College. And he came back one summer to coach a team, and he happened to put me on this team. And that was one of the first teams I played for in Montclair, along with many other great coaches like Hatari, God rest his soul, Alpine Pelham, Bay Stamper, the list could go on and on. I had some great coaching up there in Montclair. Yeah. And also Mr. Wally Choice, who's a legend.
Yes, definitely.
And Robert Hurt Sr., who was the first African-American to ever play at Seton Hall University. His son was my point guard in high school.
You just around all these legends, not even knowing they're here. Now, even getting pulled into basketball, I mean, just activity-wise, growing up, was it sports-driven, or was it different stuff that you had?
It was kind of sport. I had to give my father, Big Mo Hines. My father, they call him Big Mo Hines. He's from Baxter Terrace, He had a drive. He brought our home over in on Willdale Avenue. And when I was a kid, I used to be in the backyard. He used to teach me how to post up by using a tree, believe it or not. He had me line up and sit down and lean my back on the tree and just hold the weight. And I was like, I'm thinking I'm holding the tree up, but you know, he was giving me the strength to hold up on the post. And that's where it all pretty much started, you know, in that backyard, you know.
It is interesting you say that. Look at that, just the improv and everything else, just, you know, with props and everything else, like, you know, people today won't even know about it. But like, a tree, I ain't leaning on no tree. Or anything.
He had me to lean my back against a tree and in a sitting position with no chair. That way that you can hold the weight up. And that was just one thing. That's one thing I was pretty good at, is pretty posting up and keeping people on your back.
Yeah. Nah, folks wouldn't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Nah, so even with that, so obviously your dad, you know, kind of influenced you doing some stuff. You mentioned Mr. Jennings. Was that the first league that you played in as a kid, or did you play anywhere else?
Yeah, I played quite a bit. I was all over Essex County as I got in high school. You know, I wound up playing in Newark with the Blazers. Miss Dottie Green, God rest her soul, and her brother was Judge Booker. They had a team in Newark called the Newark Blazers.
Okay, see, I never heard about this. Okay.
Yeah, I was like the only guy that was from Montclair, but I played alongside of great players like Wilbur Cole from West Side, Gary Taylor from West Side, Bino, Don Carroll from Malcolm X Shabazz, Raheem Williams. All these cats, I played alongside them. And we also used to go over to New York and play in the West 4th Street League, and where we won like 4 titles in a row in the West 4th Street. And go in the record league and did a little damage there representing Newark.
Absolutely. They ain't chase y'all up out of there, did they?
Oh no, Newark has a strong backing. Strong backing. Yeah. When you with Newark and you're playing with the Newark guys, you got a strong backing, even in the city.
Yeah. Now you play with the Blazers. This is during high school, or like grammar school?
It was in college and high school.
Okay.
College and high school. And I played against a lot of the guys in the CIAA in the tournament because they all went to St. Augustine's. I went to Hampton. We had a player go to Winston-Salem, and we all played together in the summer leagues in college, and we were just we was a beast. But we played up and down, and we all knew each other's game and stuff, and we all knew each other from high school and stuff. So that was a plus.
Now, basketball, I mean, sports in general bring a small world kind of mentality, like as far as seeing somebody from another state, or, you know, you mentioned the HBCUs, which we'll touch on in a second. So, no, it definitely brings that small world kind of thing. It's like, wow, I remember playing against him here or him against somewhere else as well, too. I know high school, you in a sports heavy town, Montclair, like, you know, the sports heavy, again, obviously, you know, from football to lacrosse to track and field. The sports driven, the whole, I mean, for you to even into high school, I'm sure that was just like, obviously you in Glenfield, but you got the whole town now in one place here. So, I mean, that could be overwhelming as far as with all those students.
Right. And also, I had a drive to want to do something in basketball in Montclair because, and I'm talking about the pre-Bob Lester years, you know. Montclair was dominating a whole lot of sports, lacrosse, and everything, but basketball, we was pretty solid, but we was in some stiff competition. And that was something I really wanted to help move Montclair basketball program up. And plus I had a great help with an excellent teammate by the name of Craig Robinson. Me and him came out the same year. We was like Twin Towers. Craig was recruited all over the nation. We had like over 600 major D1 programs looking at him. And I think he was like the number top 3 or 4 high school players in the state of New Jersey in 1979. And he went on to play collegiately at University of Virginia with Ralph Sampson for 4 years. And I still keep in touch with him. He's doing just well. But brought a lot of notoriety to popularity to Montclair basketball. And plus we was the year before Lester came there. So we had them one more. If we had Coach Lester our senior year, we could have probably done some damage.
Yeah. And I remember talking to you, you shared what I thought was interesting as far as you played JV your junior year.
Right. In 8th grade, we had 3 middle schools in Montclair. It was Hillside Middle School, Mount Hebron, and Glenfield. I got cut from the Mount Hebron middle school team.
Okay.
My best friend, Lamont Washington, who was the center of the Glenfield Middle School, he was like 6'2", 6'1", maybe. He was, and Craig Robson was the center of Hillside. And our freshman year together at Montclair High School, I wound up making the freshman team out of the only one on the freshman team that went to Mount Hebron Middle School. And our buddy Lamont was dunking before me and Craig was.
Okay.
And that really put it on for me, because I moved up as making the freshman team as the only one that was from my middle school, and then continuing it on. And then I really I didn't get no varsity minutes until I was a senior in high school. I was playing JV after my freshman years for 2 years, and did pretty well as a junior playing against in JVs, only playing against sophomores and freshmen pretty much. So I did pretty well as a junior. And then my senior year, that was when I started on varsity, and I started kind of making a name for myself kind of there.
Yeah. And that's just interesting, just like this paying your dues. Because now, I mean, if a kid is not getting varsity minutes as a freshman, their parents pulling them, but just think about what you just freshman, sophomore, and then obviously jump on varsity to your senior. Like I said, that's unheard of these days.
Right. And then on top of that, my senior year, we was pretty highly ranked preseason in the state of New Jersey. But we lost to like 3 teams. We lost to Orange 3 times and lost to East Orange twice. But we beat everybody else.
Yeah.
Lincoln, of course.
Now that senior year, just if you can recall, just how was it for you? Was it just everything, the stars just aligned? You started, you played, and things just got going?
I started getting bigger and bigger, because I said, this is my time to really shine now. Plus, on top of that, we had a whole lot of Division I schools recruiting. There was a lot of players, a lot of coaches was coming to our games, looking at Craig Robson, and they realized, they said, "Oh, there's another big guy here that nobody's talking about." And I shined in that moment. I took on that challenge and went on out there and did it, and started making a name for myself. I started getting letters and recognition from major D1 programs. My final 2 decisions was I was going to go to Marquette or St. John's.
Okay.
St. John's at the time was a local trend. I wanted to be on TV, and at Marquette was a power forward factory, and
they were just off for national championship or Final Four or something, wasn't they?
They went to national championship, and the assistant coach that recruited me was Rick Majerus. So me and him kept in touch until he passed. He was looking at me to be another power forward at Marquette, but it just got a little too cold out there for me.
Wisconsin,
I went to visit. It was just a little cold. It was a nice, but it was a little too cold for me. But the blessing was that I had them 2 as my final 2 decisions until I had a week left to make a final visit to your legal visit to a school. And I said, well, no, I'm not going to go to Hampton. They don't even have no program down there, whatever. So the coach really insists for me to come down there to visit. And the assistant coach is a Newark guy, Coach Robert Wilson. His father was running the YMCA downtown Newark. And I said, let me just go make a visit. I know I'm not going to go down here. And I went and made that visit. That sure changed my life big time. Because I told my father, I said, I think I might want to go to Hampton. Looking at the landscape of the campus, and the weather was nice, and plus the coach gave something to me and said something like, "You will not get out the game. Only the foul trouble of you was hurt." And I said, "Wow, that appealed to me right away." And plus I connected with Rick Mahorn, and that was all she wrote.
Okay, yeah. Now, interesting. So, how was your family with your choice? I mean, back then, were they were good?
My father was elated. He said, I am
Okay.
so glad that you chose to go to Hampton. I
Mhm.
just wanted you to make the right decision. And God willing, it sure happened because I actually married my wife from Hampton. You know, me and my wife, we got reconnected. She was my college sweetheart.
Mhm.
And we had partners. She served in the military and I started playing professionally overseas.
Mhm.
And we got reconnected after 30 years. She never got married and neither did I. And now we're happily married 11 years. And I'm living my Maryland life now down here.
Nah. Hey, things supposed to happen how they happen here. That's great stuff here. It's just interesting now. I mean, even back then, as far as obviously you had your father to help you out, because I know it's kind of a thing that I've seen with a lot of people as far as they didn't know what to do with these college choices and everything get thrown at them. I mean, it's a lot to take in because I mean, then sometimes you got some parents overly involved, and you got those that are hands off here. So, but it sounds like it was like a balance, a good balance with yourself and your father, what have you.
Well, also along with my father, there were so many college coaches coming because
Hmm.
back in my time, it was just, they call you at home. They come by your school. They come by all over.
Yeah, there was no call ID back then.
And that was really, really a big thing because Craig Robinson had so many coaches coming to the school while we were taking classes. They was calling our houses all hours of the night, coming by Villanova, Steve Hall. And my father teamed up with Craig Robinson's grandmother,
Okay.
the legend Wally Choice, to coordinate some of these college visits in orientation, because he was the only person in town that was from a major D1, school. And he was like the second African American to ever play at Indiana University. And
Hmm.
he was from Montclair right there with us. And his son plays with us in high school, Wally Choice Jr., along with Robert Hurt Jr. So
Hmm.
we had him to also help mediate some of these college visits. And we had good role models in Montclair to help out too. There's a whole list. I named some earlier, and there was just a whole lot more, But thanks to my father too, to be
Hmm.
open up to allow other people to come and help out too, because it really takes a village.
It does in a lot of cases. It definitely does. And for your dad to have that foresight, I mean, obviously he knew that it takes more than just him and just have some other eyes and ears on the situation.
Yes,
You,
indeed.
you get to Hampton, Virginia. It's not Montclair, New Jersey. So how's that whole transition? You playing
Oh,
ball? You trying to adjust academically, socially? You just probably just wide eyed and everything. So how all this come together?
I enjoyed my Hampton Institute, now University experience to no
Hmm.
end.
Hmm.
Um, I went there 4 years, and I went to 4 years of summer school as well. I spent
Hmm.
as much time as I could down there. It was
Hmm.
definitely my home by the sea. I
Yes.
am grateful for my home by the sea. I'm also a brother of Groove Phi Groove Social
Yes.
Fellow,
Yes.
and just being down at Hampton, and there was a whole lot of Jersey, New York,
Hmm.
Philly, and we all connected with each other down there, and it was just nice, just a nice atmosphere. Even now to this very day, I'm still connected with a lot of them, and that's one thing about the HBCU experience is that I have friends for life.
Yes.
I just didn't go to school with them. I have friends for life. We keep in touch often. Well,
Hmm.
and now that I'm here in the area, I go down to homecomings. I get to catch them every now and then. I have a good rapport with Hampton. And it was just a great experience. And like I said, it stated earlier, that's where me and my wife first met.
Hmm.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Nah.
and now
Nah.
we're together.
Nah. It sounds like it was exactly what you just said here. Basketball, how was that? Just like playing from high school to the college level. How was that for you? That transition.
That was a big major jump with me because I really got to the point where someone invested in me and
Yes.
gave me confidence. And that's all I needed right then and there. I mean, I might not have made it to the big NBA, but I tell you what, I did have my glory just going my 4 years in school, and I met some very good friends. Yeah, I don't know if you know Larry Gaunt, that's from Orange. He went to Seton Hall. He was one of the guys that recruited me there.
Okay.
And one of Rick Mahorn's best friends, and he's active with the Orange High School basketball program now. And it's just, I have friends for life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that Hampton experience. That's
yes,
all I
yes.
with a big smile on my face.
Nah, definitely. But, you know, obviously the whole CIAA, I mean, different from, you know, obviously NCAA and all that other stuff. I mean, just playing in those games, I mean, for me, basketball is basketball. You know, well, obviously a lot of people sometimes don't see it that way, but just the competition, just how was it for you?
It was wonderful. One of my greatest moments was playing in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
My freshman year, of course, playing with Rick was easy because no one really guarded me at all. And then we had a point guard by the name of Darryl Ward, who was a point guard for Gene Banks over in West Philadelphia. He was a basketball wizard.
Okay.
With him and them two, no one guarded me, so I got Rookie of the Year in the CIAA. And then after they had left, I still had 2 more years without either one of them. And we won the championship back to back my junior and senior year. And another great experience was to know that rest of so Cleo Hill Sr., he's the one from Salem grad, he used to come to the tournaments all the time. And his wife, Miss Hill, was my second grade teacher.
Teacher, Nisha Wayne, huh?
Yeah, she was my second grade teacher in Montclair. Yeah. And at the CIAA tournament, she used to always come down and give me a politician handshake.
Okay.
I love them. Yeah, it's just wonderful. You got Al Addles from Newark, played at North Carolina A&T. Cleo Hill Jr. played at North Carolina Central, and recently now coaching at Winston-Salem.
Yes.
It's a strong history, and I'm glad to be a representative of New Jersey and especially Essex County.
Yes.
Essex County is the hub of basketball in New Jersey back in the 70s, that's for sure. And Cleo Hill, I used to open up the gyms. I used to go down to Newark and play in the open gyms with him and Mr. Robert Hurt Sr. I used to open up Montgomery Street School. I was an Essex County Rover.
Yes.
All over. I played over. I used to play, matter of fact, I used to play East Orange with the East Orange team in the Elmwood Park League.
I don't know what, yes.
You remember that they had the lights that connect the backboards? I took every dunk I had, I tried to rock them right lights. And I remember Elmwood Park when they used to have the airplane there. I was a little kid, used to climb into the airplane because my father used to play.
Okay.
But I played with the East Orange guys, James Gist and Ellis, and I was coached by Rick Clark and Zach Turner. And their thing we used to, Hines, just take it to the house. Take it to the house.
Yeah.
It was fun getting up and down the court because in Montclair we played a little slow down ball half court game, but play with my guys from East Orange and Newark, and I get the rebound, outlet it, and just fill the lane, and then I could rock the rim because I wasn't too much of a jump shooter or a skilled player. I just grabbed the ball off the rim and tried to attack the rim as hard as I can, one hand, two hand, or whatever. And them Orange Park lights, I used to love that because they were jam-packed, car jams. I love playing in front of a crowd for some reason. I guess that's what helped me out of Hampton.
Yeah, Danny, because down in Hampton, you guys played pretty much, people attended those games. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's sellouts. Charles Oakley, I played against.
Virginia Union, right.
Yeah, we used to bang. And it was sellout crowds at every game. And they wasn't sitting on their hands either. They were making noise.
No, like they're supposed to. Yeah.
I just remember like I'm playing in Newark or East Orange or something. But I'm from Montclair. I love my Montclair roots. But it was like playing the East Orange, and I was like, ooh, New York. I was like, wow, this is nice down here.
Yeah, like you're playing around the way here. You just got to go to class. You just got to go to class and
They prepared me to play the HBCU.
Nah, definitely. And I know, obviously, I know you know from accolades down there, and I know you remember where you left. You left school at as the all-time leading scorer. You remember where you was at?
I left the second all-time leading scorer and the second all-time rebounder. Yeah, and I went to the foul line a lot of times, scored over 1,900 points, but
Yeah.
like 500 of it was on the free throw line. I went to the free throw line a lot. I always got contact. I learned to shoot a jump shot a little more then because, they're not going to let you attack the rim.
Yeah.
You're going to go down. So I like to shoot a little jumper and just, change it up a little bit. But I still made sure my name was going to be Duncan Hines. That's for sure.
Yeah. Nah,
I was gonna make sure I was not going to be baking cakes.
nah, definitely. I know you do get drafted though. You do get drafted.
I got drafted. During the pre-draft, I thought I was either going to go to the Washington Bullets because Rick Mahorn was there.
Okay.
The New Jersey Nets was interested. The Atlanta Hawks was interested. And then on draft day, I got a call from Al Adams out in California.
I was going to ask about that connection. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, when did this come from? So when I went out there, it happened that was Al Adams' last year of coaching.
Okay.
Went into front manager. He was a general manager, but he met me when I went out there. I had a great camp. I was one of the last players cut. They had a first-round draft pick, Russell Cross, that was holding out the whole year. And at that time, Golden State wasn't like one of the top top teams as they are now. But they had to give him a guaranteed contract, and the rest. And I never looked back. They was very much interested. I very much appreciative of them drafting me and was and picking me up, and they pretty much got me. I was like one of the first. I was probably the top HBCU player that was drafted that year. I think maybe Michael Britt from UDC might have went up higher. Okay, but it was a good experience. I'm glad I went out there. I just didn't go back. I had contracts to go overseas, and that's where I made my 12-year journey. And I played over in Europe, South America. I've been all over the place. And the last place I went to, I got to share with this one to you. This last place I went to, I had already retired from playing basketball. Okay. I was going to the games in Orange Park. No, not Orange Park, Central Park in Orange.
Central Playground, yeah. Yes.
Right. And they had a Montclair team there called the Montclair Hustlers. My brother and a lot of my homeboys was playing on the team. And I was living in Maryland at the time. And I was just coming back on the weekends to go catch the games to watch my brother play and my friends. And Kenny Moss, I rest his soul, he was on AMC. He was the MC.
Mr. Moss. Mr. Moss.
Yeah, Mr. Moss. He could sure keep a game live. So me and my father would go to the games, and he would just show me some love, say, "Oh, Hines and Dad is here." So I was just in the stands, just watching, and my guys was losing. So everyone makes the playoffs, but they said in order to play in the playoffs, you got to play 3 games. So I dressed up for the last 3 games and just to play with my homeboys. And next thing we know, we went all the way to the Final Four. We was like one of the 2 Jersey teams that represented the Final Four in the Pro-Am out in the park, a Montclair team. And I was like, wow. And after we lost, we didn't make it to the championship, but we made it to the Final Four. After we lost, I had got a contract from 2 countries that was in the park. One of them was from Argentina, and one was from Brazil.
You never know, yeah.
Before I played there before, so I said, I don't even know if I want to go there. I said, Brazil, I never played. I said, but a very interesting place. And upon that conversation, I signed a nice contract to go play over in Brazil, just playing in the park and over there in Orange. And that was one of the most. That was a very interesting place to go play at. And I had a great time over there too. That was the last place I played.
Was Oscar Schmidt, he was still out there at that time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was there lighting it up. I had like 3 Olympians on my team. Okay. He was amongst the top, and I was the only American on my team. A lot of the other teams had 2 Americans, but I was the only one. But I had like 3. We had a good team. And we did pretty well.
How's your experience just in general? I mean, you know, you said about 11, 12 years it's overseas, just living that life playing basketball. I mean, was it like, wow, I'm getting paid and get to travel to do something I love?
Getting paid and just living life and experiencing life, because
Hmm.
I was not in the military. I was in a
Hmm.
situation where I had to live with the natives. So,
Okay.
and if you can only imagine, I'm 60 now, but there was no internet, there was no TV, radio.
Hmm.
I used to ask my sister Jill used to send me VHS tapes of Sanford and Son, and I would just give me send the commercials and everything, so that way I can look at a program. And
Hmm.
you know, and when you talk on the telephone back during that day, it's like talking through a tunnel. So,
Okay.
and it was very costly. So it was an adjustment. And so I learned to just learn to speak the languages of where I was at. You
Hmm.
know, and it was fun. You know, and it was definitely fun. It was a great experience. I would not trade it for nothing in the world. I've seen some very interesting places, and one of my most interesting places was in Jerusalem, walking
Hmm.
in Old Jerusalem. I
Yeah.
actually, I walked the path Jesus Christ walked, because they have it in the street. You
Hmm.
know, and with me being 6'8", 6'9", I'm walking down the street. I'm looking in the second row of the houses because it was so small. You know, I prayed at the Western Wall and everything, and I've been to some very interesting places.
Nah, that's amazing. Just even just to hear a little bit of that there. Did you ever get homesick and like, hey, I'm done, that's it?
I
Or
did. I did. I always kept it short. You know, I stayed. I didn't stay in the one country for a long time. You know,
okay.
I kept it going. I kept it
Mhm.
moving. I might have stayed. I stayed for 6, 8, 9 months at a time, but that was a full season for them over there at that time, because you know, in South America, especially in South America, they have like a 2 or 3 month break in the
Okay.
middle of, you know, it's like
Mhm.
so you can go home and come back, you know. So I
Nah,
usually
no, go ahead, go ahead.
no, yeah, that's what I usually did. I just usually did. I was pretty much a globetrotter. I was in and out the airports.
Okay, okay. And it's just interesting as far as again, just all this from bouncing to basketball.
Yes, just playing basketball. That's
Mhm.
it. Doing something that I love. Most of the daily schedule would be like you practice in the evenings, and you don't
Mhm.
practice during the mornings or nothing like that. And you practice for 2 or 3 hours during the evening. They have some weird training techniques, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But it's only pretty much a 3 or 4 hour a day work job, and the rest of the time is on your own. You know, but
Yes.
I made sure I did calisthenics. I didn't do much of the weights. I didn't do much of the running because I didn't want to tear my knees up. I did a whole lot of calisthenics, push-ups, you know, stuff like that to keep myself focused, you know, and keep myself strong.
And as all this is going on, do you ever think about the end point, or did it just sneak up on you when it was time to retire?
Yeah, no, I actually planned to retire. I did not want to keep playing after a certain age.
Okay.
And plus, I really wanted to keep my mindset on finding a career to get into, and
Mhm.
I did. And I wanted to get into law enforcement.
Okay.
I think I was already in shape. I think I could be a very effective person dealing with youth, because
Mhm.
that's what I love to do.
Mhm.
And I went to Montclair Board of Education. I went in there to apply for a substitute teaching job, just to get something to do, because I have no work experience other than playing basketball.
Mhm.
And when I gave them my name, you know, I gave my name of Gregory Hines, and I was asked, "Do you know who Duncan Hines is?" I said, "Well, it's actually me, Miss Churchman." Miss Churchman. He said, well, what are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I just wanted to find something to do because I was wanting to get in law enforcement, and I took a couple of tests to become a police officer, and it
Mhm.
didn't pan out. And and she said, well, I got a position for you. The high school needs you as a security." I said, "Huh?
Mhm.
Security in high school?" I said, "What did it start out with?" And it was way more than starting out with the police. So
Mhm.
I've been doing that for 25 years in Montclair, and I just retired officially when I turned 60, but I left at 55.
Interesting. So being back just in your surroundings here again, but you kind of keep your eye on students, and then obviously I'm sure you probably got a ton of questions throughout the years. But it's still the whole mentoring, kind of just still being
It
that hometown person as well.
that was the plus side of it. It wasn't that I just was in Montclair High School. I also worked in 3 of the other middle schools in town. So I got to move around, and I got to be, and I believe I was effective. I hope that I was effective. I hope that I have changed some people's lives for the better. I know everybody ain't gonna like me, but that's all well. But I did my best, and I looked out for others opposed to just thinking of myself.
Interesting. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just love what I do, and working. That was the best. That was one great thing that happened, was that I got to work around kids, and as a security officer, that was really wonderful, because I walked the hallways. I ate lunch with them sometimes, correct them when they was wrong, and some of them needed somebody to just tell them that wasn't just their family, but act like they was their family. All my nieces and nephews, all their friends, I call them my nieces and nephews. So it was wonderful, yeah. And I'm doing the same thing down here now.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
I work at Laurel High School down here in Maryland, and I started out working out with the basketball team, but I realized that they was good on their own. So I said, you know what? Let me try something new. So now I'm in my 3rd year of coaching lacrosse. I coach lacrosse. My 3rd year coaching lacrosse here.
Great sport. Great sport.
Great sport. To me, it's a basketball game on the field. And I'm taking pride, and I'm taking the challenge. And I asked me, do I play lacrosse? No, but I know a history of it. I have a lot of go-to guys that I can call on.
That's right.
From Montclair. If I need
I was about to say, you don't have to go too far.
I don't have to, and I do call them too.
Interesting. How's that been these 3 years with the lacrosse? How's that been?
It's been very interesting, because down here, they're trying to open up the sport for minorities.
Okay.
And, I'm at a school with majority African American and Spanish. So all my players are first-time lacrosse players, and they did pretty well. We had a 6-game season because of the pandemic this past season. We lost the first 2 games, but we took a ride and won the last 4, and looking pretty well. There's a couple of high schools that have feeder programs and stuff like that, but at my high school and in my town, in the city I'm in Laurel, they don't have that kind of stuff. So a lot of the guys that are just playing lacrosse is playing lacrosse for the first time in high school. So that's a challenge, and they picking it up. Once you get a kid involved in something and driving for it and making them a little bit, that the coaching part is easy. As long as they improve, and that's all you ask for. It's just improvement. It's not about wins. It's just about being better.
And to hear that from you, not sure how much digging they did about you, but you playing at the highest of levels here. I mean, you know what you're talking about, no matter what the sport is. I mean, some of the things still apply the same methods, no matter what sport it is. So this, obviously, hearing it from somebody that's played at the highest of levels means something.
And, and the best part about it is that it's not about me.
Right.
It's all about them. And just to have someone, a lot of them don't even know who I am. They just know me as Mr. Hines. A few of them do, because I know some of their parents and stuff from colleges and stuff like that. But for the most part, these kids here, they just know me as Mr. Hines, and I am totally good with that. Because I had coaches and mentors like that, like Hantari. I had Baron Baker down in Newark. They was like good coaches. I mean, good, not just good coaches, just good individuals that was just there. And I just bringing it on.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I know, obviously, you a lot of work in the ministry here as far as the church. Were you able to transition down there as well?
Yeah. Oh, yes, most definitely. I'm a member of Mount Jezreel Baptist Church down here in Silver Springs, Maryland. And it was a very easy transition, because that's what changed my life around. Because before I moved down here, I was a member of Rise in Mount Zion in Montclair, right there on Monroe Place with Reverend Campbell. And the transition of coming down here, it was just easy, because God is the strength,
Yes.
And to God be all the glory, because of all the great things that He has done, not just us, it's all the great things He has done.
Yes. And to rewind a little bit of your church life back a little bit, you went to church with a famous family growing up.
I sure did. The Houston, the Drinker family. They was Dee Dee Warwick, Dionne Warwick, Whitney Houston. Felicia Moss is a singer too. That's Kenny's sister that everybody sleep on. She's a good singer there, and the whole family. And you know, like their family was all in the ministry of music at New Hope Baptist Church, and like my family was part of the dignitaries, like the deacons, the secretary. My grandmother was the mother of the church, and Michael Houston was a good ball player back in his days too at Fairleigh Dickinson.
Okay.
And Gary Garland, and you know and Lolly Drinker, that he's down there in Norton right now. He's right there now. He was one of my father's first players. And my father founded the basketball team down there at New Hope Baptist Church.
Okay.
All kids from Baxter Terrace, and I was just the little kid with the little Harlem Globetrotter socks. The team picture with them, like I was on the team, but
you had to sneak in there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I snuck one in there, and my father was the coach.
That works though. And again, you've been around it your whole life. And speaking of which, let's speak of sports or basketball in particular here. Like, what has it given you that stuck with you to this day?
First, to keep your competitive juices out there on the court and be kind to one another. I think the main thing is just to be kind to one another and keep your competitive edge out there on the court. You don't have to take it out on nobody outside the court. If you want to be aggressive on something, go out there on the field, go out there on the court and compete out there. Outside the court is no competition. You should be just concerned and just show love to one another. You know, that was the only commandment we was ordered to do the time here on earth, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's just to love one another. If you want to compete in battle, take it on the field, take it on the court, compete in battle. And then when the game's over, it's over. You know, that's the one thing I learned. You know.
That's well said here. Now, even moving forward, obviously I know you're down there, you're coaching. Is there anything else that you got on this checklist you got to check off?
No, I just want to live my best life. The great be told out here. I'm elated because I'm with the wife, the true love of my life.
Yes.
If you can only imagine, we are together now, and she served. She did 25 years in the military as a soldier, so you know she don't take teeth either. And for me, be the one for her, and I'm the one for, and it's just amazing. We're just living our best life right now, and we here to see what can we do to help others. That's it. That's who we are. Yep.
Life of service.
Back to back. And they call me. They call her nickname is Pumpkin in school, and she went to high school down here in Washington D.C.
Okay.
Her school colors is red, black, and green, and their mascot is a warrior, a Zulu warrior. So she's
say no more. Yeah. Say no more. Say no more.
We try to live our best life and just deal with wherever God has ordered our steps to do, and that's what we're gonna be doing.
Good stuff. I'm sneaking up on 10, so I'm 10 years in February. So just trying to see how it goes here. See how it's been. What's that?
2011?
2012. So February of next year will be 10.
Yeah. We're in that same. We write it down. So
yes. And I've learned a lot.
You can come on down. You and the wife can come on down.
Interesting. You said Laurel. You said Laurel, Maryland. Interesting.
That's where I work. That's where I work at. I work at Laurel High School.
Okay. Yeah, my stepson's in there. My stepson's there.
At Laurel?
He's living in Laurel. He's living in Laurel, Maryland. Yes.
I'm at Laurel High School.
Okay.
Yep.
Good stuff.
And come over and holler at me.
Yeah, get his butt a job or something. I don't know. He's working. He's working. But definitely.
Got you.
I usually have, again, I know you probably have some fun here with some direct questions here, get some fun, maybe get some people in trouble or get yourself in trouble maybe here. So it's all good though. It's all good. All the fun though. All the fun here. So random questions, nothing hidden behind them, what have you here. So you being a Jersey guy here, we are Parkway or the Turnpike?
Parkway.
Okay. being a Montclair guy, Elm Street or Bloomfield Ave?
Bloomfield.
Keep it Montclair here. YMCA or Grassroots?
Grassroots.
Okay. Now, you were just a counselor
I
there
worked
with
yeah,
Mr. Choice?
I worked with Mr. and Mrs. Choice for quite a while. I was a camper, a junior counselor, and I've been listening with them. I've been with Grassroots for over 15, 20 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Every summer from school, I used to work with Grassroots with Mr. and Miss Choice.
And Mr. Hines, I probably saw you back when, because I was a little younger, and I know he split time a couple of summers, whether it was at Nishawing or at Glenfield. I just remember him at the end of the day, he ride around with the van with the trailer with the snacks.
Yeah, I was doing that with him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that, and I always having to wear my little green and gold or green and yellow shirts.
Miss Choice is gonna definitely love to hear that.
Yeah,
Because I keep in touch with her. She's like my mother. Yeah.
A lot of memories.
Yeah.
So
who was your counselor? Do you remember?
Only one I remember, and it's interesting. He lives in Orange too. We had Miss Sturdivant. She was one of my counselors one year. Yeah, and her sons actually went to school in Orange. They lived in Orange, but Miss Sturdivant was one of them. But I just remember those were my summers, my early years, going to Grassroots here, coming home and being beat because I've been in the pool all day. Parents probably loved every minute of that because I was going to go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one thing. I was like a activity director. I was helping out the head counselors and getting kids active, moving within the park. So parents used to always give us the kudos on thank you, because once they get their snack, they're sitting in a car and they are knocked out.
Yeah.
And they get their dinner, and that's it. That's why they love that camp.
I remember it quite well. I remember, like I said, a lot of fond memories, and as far as just setting this foundation of mine up or what have you, just know the importance of just socializing and being at camps and stuff, So Grassroots is a big part of me.
And also just interacting with your own peers.
Yes.
With your own peers, Well, during my age, we used to create makeup games when we was outside playing. As generations change, we find out that was the best solution, because you're outside playing, you get the makeup pads, catch lightning bugs,
Yes.
That's very creative, It was active and kept them physically intact, exercising, getting your body oxygenated, and just clearing your way out, making some room for the food to come in and get some rest.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also too, remember that green and yellow school bus.
Oh yeah, still have. He has two of them.
There's two of them. Okay. I remember
the Rooter. The Rooter, yeah.
Okay, I remember that. So, the kind of go on here, Hampton or Montclair High?
Ooh. Hampton. I love Montclair, but I like my Hampton. I love my Hampton.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Hampton, you got elected to a Hall of Fame. Obviously, in the athletic Hall of Fame down there and everything. Now, is your number retired too? I see it in the back. Was it?
No, that's the CIAA.
Okay.
I was like, wow. I got the call of my father before he passed. He nominated me to Hampton's Hall of Fame. And at that time, Hampton did not have a Hall of Fame, a sports Hall of Fame. So this will be the inaugural year of their Hall of Fame. They elected 15 of the greatest sports names that ever played at Hampton. And Hampton, a historical Black school, won the old one in 1868. And I said, man, I'm not one of the greatest athletes out here. And as it was ordered, I was listed with the top 15, along with the point guard that played with me, Rick Mahorn, and our coach. And the president, Dr. Harvey, and a lot of the people that was in my class in that Hall of Fame at Hampton they got buildings and arenas named after them down there. So I was really honored to be named in that Hall of Fame class. And then shortly afterwards, 2 years later, the CIAA enshrined me into their Hall of Fame. And I was like, man, I'm really going big time now. That's what, I'm very blessed with that, because that's something that they just don't give to you. You have to really earn it. So in my mind, I really said, I must have really did something, but afterwards, but during the time, I said, man, I was just only doing something that I love to do. And I'm very honored and humble to that, and it's still coming. I mean, just like a month ago, they listed me with the Black College as a Black College basketball name, because when you're in a Black college, you always got to, they got to give you a nickname, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Pee Wee Kirkland, I'm named with all these guys, and now my name, Greg Duncan Hines, is listed in Black College history as a legend. So I really take that as an honor, and it keeps me focused to and I think we need to all take a look at HBCUs and consider, like I said earlier, I got friends for life.
Yes.
Friends for life,
Interesting you say that. Like, how do you, I mean, even now, obviously recently, there's been a lot of focus, deservingly so, and way overdue with the HBCUs. I mean, I'm sure are you happy with the progress, or, I mean, I know there's a lot more to do, but where you at as far as the progress?
There's always still more work to be done. There's always more work to be done. But just a conscious, I mean, because if players are only going to school for 1 or 2 years, why not just come on down and experience it? Because the HBCU experience is a unique experience, and it's not as bad as people may think it would be. It is what you make it. They're not going to give you anything down there. You're going to have to earn everything you have. But the best part of earning everything is the reward that you're going to get, and the satisfaction that you did it. I look at Cleo Hill Jr. at Winston-Salem. He won the CIAA championship last year. And he's doing a remarkable job down there.
Yes.
And I just wish some people will consider that and looking at some of these schools, because if you're good, they're going to find you. You don't have to chase them. Good, they're going to get you. And why not go, to a HBCU? And plus, it will help out financially to the school.
Yeah,
and I'm quite sure members that went to an HBCU school. So why not keep it in the family?
Yeah, I agree, and I hopefully, like I said, hopefully the doors will get blown off, and this ain't even a conversation where they're getting the monies they deserve, just like these other schools and everything. So I hope it's in my lifetime that happens. Like yeah.
Well, it's going to happen, because good always outweighs the bad. Good always outweighs bad.
Yes. Now, I know you'd be a little humble here, but I'm going to ask you put your little slice of humble pie to the side for a quick second here.
Okay.
Best game you ever played in your life on any level? What sticks out?
Well, I guess I would say the 1982 CIAA tournament. We was down by 15 points with 5 minutes left in the game. And it got down to a last-second shot that I made to put the game in overtime. And it wasn't a layup or a jump, it was a turnaround jump shot. But the coach told me just to pop out. It was only like 3 seconds left in the game, and we had the ball inbounds it underneath our basket. He said, everybody's crowding the paint. I want you to just step out, and when you catch it, turn around and shoot it. But no one's going to guard you. And that happened. We went into overtime. And then in the overtime, we were still losing. And we won on a Hail Mary shot. And the sad part about it, we beat my homeboys from Newark at St. Aug. But I'm not too proud of that. But my boys, I'm glad we got the win though. But that was one of my best moments. I made a shot that put the game in overtime in the championship game.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. How about the best team you ever been on?
Ooh, ooh, man.
Whether summer league, whether college
Ooh,
level, best
oh
team.
man, you are. It probably was that Newark Blazers team that we had. With Gary Taylor, Marvin Cook, Wilbur Cole. We were just J.B. Bailey. We had Cliff Anderson. We had all the top dogs and Poobie Chapman. Oh, and we had and we would travel. We will go to New York. We will go to other places. And I just fit the mold right along with them and fell right at home. Miss Green, God rest her soul, Miss Dottie Green, she was the owner of the team. She used to put us in our Cadillacs and take us to the city. We were playing different and we would not lose. We was going at it. We played in Branchbrook and everything. That was it. The New York Blazers. I would have to go with that one.
Now, did you have a go-to move, or you was just dunking on anybody?
Going to spin and turn on. I can jump. I can two-hand tomahawk off of one step. So I was like, yeah, give me the ball down low. I'll spin, fake move, and just go straight up. That's it. I didn't have no jump hook or nothing. I learned that later on, but it helps when you're a lot bigger than everybody. You can get them. But when you have to go against the big guys, you have to, you have to shoot a little touch shot. So I did have a little touch, but that wasn't a go-to. Dunking was my thing.
Now with the dunking and just dunking all over the place, being overseas, you probably were like a superhero out there.
Commercial. I made a commercial in Brazil of me just holding the ball, and none of it was in English. They just had me just dunking in the background and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of enjoyed that, yeah. And the rims are low, And that was one good thing too, is that, but with my size, the street leagues, the rims was low and the courts were small. I was big and just going above the rim and outrunning everybody. So 2 or 3 steps, I'm down court, especially in the West 4th Street League.
Yeah. Any is there a game that you like to have back?
Yeah. Them games against Linden, East Orange, and Orange. They used to beat us all the time.
Yeah.
I'd like to get some of those games back.
Okay.
Orange beat us 3 times my senior year.
Now who's on the Orange team?
Rob Cole, Billy Coleman, Hubert Mitchell, Colts. They had that Darren Hammond, the track coach at
Mr. Hammond. I know who he is.
Yeah, he's the animal. He's what you call the animal. But they beat us 3 times. I'm like, what? They beat us at ECT. And the last time they beat us, the crowd was running out saying, Craig Robinson, Duncan, how they was taunting us big time. They Orange and East Orange, because we had the hype over them, but they had the full court press, everything. They put the press on. It was hard to get the ball down court on them, especially with the crowd cheerleaders. And and Linden they had like 5 all-state players on their team. They beat us junior and senior year. And I'd like to get some of those games back.
Yeah. It's just someone at any level, it's someone who should have made it, whether it was in high school, whether it's college, or whether it's a pro, somebody who should have made it. Anybody come to mind?
Well, I like the point guard that I played with at Hampton, Darryl Ward.
Okay.
Darryl Ward, he in his 4 years in high school, I think he only lost like 2 games, and he was a national champ. But he was on the team with Gene Banks was the All-American, but he was the point guard. And Darryl Ward was a basketball wizard. He was very creative. At Hampton, he made one play. He threw the ball. We was on the fence. I rebounded it, outlet it to Darryl, and I filled the lane. Darryl threw the ball hard off the backboard, caught it in midair and spinned around and gave it to me in stride, and I went and dunked it. And I mean, it was like plays like that was just second nature to him. And he's a Philadelphia native, street ball legend. They call him City Lights in Philadelphia. I mean, anybody from Philadelphia in the 70s know about Darryl Ward. And I think Darryl Ward should have really, he would have turned the NBA out.
Yeah. What happened to him?
I don't know. He got drafted by the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
And I think when he got cut and then went back home and just stayed. Yeah. He was a dime point guard. Oh, he's a legend. That's a fact.
Speaking of legends, are you the best basketball player to come out of Montclair?
No. No. But right now, I see my niece. My niece scored the most points out of any basketball player in Montclair. I was like, she's up there, and her sisters, they did wonderful jobs there too.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Her sisters. She was one of my nieces, Tori. She was getting ready to enter her senior year as a potential all-stater. All-American, and during the summer she missed her ACL and got surgery, and a lot of the schools that was recruiting her backed out because she had a knee injury, and she rehabbed and everything, and one school came to her, and that was Virginia Tech, and she went to Virginia Tech, played there for 2 years, and then transferred and went to Townsend. And then I have another niece, Kyra, that played at Cheney, and Cheney girls basketball, they didn't win the game for 2 years until she got there, and she doubled her mark. They probably only won by 5 or 6 games, but what she did each year was put an input in there, and they are the 2 older sisters of Maisha, so they all started together, and then of course others, Isaiah and Joshua. And Joshua's in the NFL now, so they are the best. I'm not. And my brother was there. My brother played in '88.
Okay.
You might know him, Keith.
Keith.
He's an assistant now.
Okay. Yeah, I know the name.
He had 55 points in one game. I was like, wow, bro.
Yeah.
That was good.
55. Yeah.
They won the game by 1 point too, so that must have been some real good bowling there. And he went on to play college ball at Shaw, and then he transferred to Montclair State with Nick Del Tufo.
Okay.
It's a funny story for that one too. One night, me and Nick Del Tufo, because we known each other from back in the day from the Big Ten conference. And he said, "Hey, where'd your brother do?" I said, "Oh, my brother's home. He got 2 more years eligibility." He said, "Come on." He told me to take him to the house so he could meet my father. Next thing I know, my brother signed to Montclair State and played with him. Yeah. Nick Del Tufo.
Now, speaking of Montclair, now you able to put your all-time starting 5 together from Montclair? If you
that's difficult. I know one. I have to go with Dwayne
it could be
Jones. We call him Lil.
Positionless. It could be positionless too.
Okay. I like to go with Dwayne Jones, Alpine. He was the first. He made All-State.
Okay.
I think they lost to Camden in his 83 years. 1983. Sorry. And I like Mr. Wally Choice, because he played at Indiana University in 1955. What? That had to be something, because he had shared with me some stories about that.
That's where the Ku Klux Klan is from. Yeah, Ku Klux Klan is from.
Yeah. I like Curtis Richwood. He went to Ole Miss. He's a pastor now. I guess his sermons every week. I like my buddy Craig Robinson.
Okay.
From Virginia. And I got one more. I'll go with Major Jennings.
Yeah.
I'll go
that's
with
solid.
Yeah.
No, that's solid here. Who's best high school basketball player you ever seen?
Kelly Chapuka.
Okay.
Kelly Chapuka was lighting them up.
Yeah.
He was averaging like 4. Kelly was lighting him up. He's playing. Back then in our time, in the Big Ten conference, Man, Kelly was lighting them up. I was only a sophomore, so I never had a chance to play against him. I was always at the game. Kelly Chipuka by far.
Yeah. Nah, just giving it to him, man. You not the only person that's done said his name.
Man, Kelly Tripucka. Light him up. And he didn't care where he was. There wasn't no calls. No, he played. He could play.
Yeah. What's up? Best part about being Greg Hines?
I'm the son of Morris and Mary Hines. My parents. I am their child. And I am a child of the Most High God. That's what I'm very proud of. Yeah.
You feel you got your just due?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. Yeah, I'm very. You know, a lot of people ask, how come, why didn't you wish you would have made the NBA? You would have made the big money. All money and good money, though.
That's right. That's right.
I got good friends. I have friends that love me. I have family, that love me, and I'm content. I am very much content. Very much.
And with that contentment, this Mr. Hines is part of your life here. What advice would you give that senior year, Greg Hines? Any advice you would give?
Work on a little more of your game other than just dunking.
Okay.
Work on ball handling or something. Or you can always do something to better improve yourself. That's for sure. Because I sure was not the best, but I know I could have worked hard and probably pushed myself a little more. But that's probably what I needed to do.
Now, you kind of sort of answered this before, but just to get some clarity here, this last one here, this Hines family is nothing but athletes and great people here. Are you the best Hines out of the family here?
Yeah, I'm put it this way. I'm the oldest. I'm not the best. I'm only the oldest. That's for sure.
Okay.
And just not only that, I can find out that we got another cousin that's playing ball that's pretty well for the Miami Heat from Newark.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the initials, double A.
I'm drawing a blank shot.
I'm at Bam, Alabama.
Bam, right? He got North ties. Yeah, Jersey ties. Yes. Okay.
And he played. Him and my cousin are good friends. They played at University of Kentucky.
That's right.
They didn't know that they was related. Yeah.
Go back to that small world thing. It's a small world.
It is. It most definitely is. Yeah. And that's one thing about athletes in sports, especially around our time, is that even though we competed against each other, we was also friends and respected each other. We respected each other. The schools, it was rivals. They were big time rivals, but the athletes didn't have the rivals. We just competed,
It's especially, I think, even you talk about you mentioned the Big Ten, like all the schools are next door to each other. If you want to talk about the high school level, you want to go to college, you're surrounded by, nothing but HBCU, other schools that you compete and get known for. Virginia Union, Virginia State, take your pick.
Yeah.
And
it was just every game was a battle. And especially it was a challenge because Hampton was not known for basketball, not known for its basketball thing until Rick Mahorn and I got to give kudos to the guys that got Rick Mahorn started, and that was Keith Tolliver and Marvin Payne. These two guys, if you think Rick is something else, you need to see these two, one from Tennessee and one from Baltimore. They got Rick started, so I got to give kudos to those guys.
Definitely. And I know, again, I know you being very humble here, but just the life that you've had, like athletically, but it's also pales in comparison. Obviously, I'm sure the personal stuff, obviously the ministry and being married, as far as probably supersedes a lot of that stuff here, but it's all a part of you. It's all a part of you. And for me, just to hear the Hines name just throughout my life. And like I said, I've spent a little part of my early years in Montclair, so I'm well aware. But I just wanted to, Mr. Hines, all the excitement you done gave all of us and those who actually was live enough to run through the bleachers after you probably, got a poster or two here, just the excitement you've given people. But I even think about the post playing career. You talk about just being in the schools and being with these kids and everything else, just sharing with the knowledge that you know, but also probably willing to continue to grow through them as well. Like, it's just a testament to who you are, sir. And like, again, this doing this here, like I said, I'm completely flabbergasted, and you're one of the reasons why. So I just wanted to say just thank you, just for like just spending this little bit of time and me just getting a small part of your world here. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much for even thinking of me. Thank you so much. And also continue doing what you're doing. I've shared with you before. Keep on doing what you're doing, my brother. You have a vision and you're doing a great job. And if there's anything that I could do to help or whatever, you got me. But you're doing a great job, and this is going to get better because just to have the interest and the concern to just want to know, because nobody would know if someone did not let them know. So
Yes.
I appreciate you, work that you're doing, and continue on doing it, my brother. Keep on going.
Nah, thank you, Mr. Hines, and I'm gonna hold you to it. Don't you get a call or something for me? Don't say I got this on tape. I'll play it.
That's right. And also, you're the one going to get a getaway. I'm right in between Baltimore and DC.
Okay.
And yeah, we can make arrangements. We're gonna be friends for life.
Nah, thank you, Mr. Hines. Thank you. We'll be in touch. Take care.
You too.
All right. So long. Yeah, that's what this is about. I mean, again, just hearing other people's life a little bit. Like I said, I'm not writing any novels about any individuals, but just to hear a little bit, man, it's worth a million books, to be honest with you. Just a little bit of time that I have with everybody. Mr. Hines is just a prime example of that. And I'm just so taken back by all of this. I just want to just thank everybody who's listened, who's checked in on some of these, or all of them, or one of them, on what have you here. But Mr. Hines, you're the reason why I do this. And with that said, though, I'm gonna just slide on out. Put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.